Hi, I'm Mark Rhodes and welcome back to Massively Improve, the channel that makes personal development and change easy to do. Procrastination and hesitation, it's a subject that comes up so much, especially when working with people on a coaching basis, or when I finished a big conference talk and people are talking to me in the breaks. They may say, hey Mark, the trouble is I procrastinate a lot, or I hesitate a lot. The first thing with procrastination and hesitation is they are different. And there is, I think a subtle difference between them, but you could look up online and find out, what really is the difference between the meaning of the words procrastination and hesitation. But, many years ago I made a distinction myself of why they were different for me, and you may find this useful, because a lot of people that I've helped, when they tell me they procrastinate, I find out, at least under my own definition of it, they're not really procrastinating, they're actually hesitating. So the difference for me is, procrastination for me is about putting off doing something that I'm not that excited about doing, or I'm not that inspired about doing. There's no other real reason putting me off other than I'm just not really inspired or motivated to do it. So I would procrastinate about washing the car or getting the car cleaned. Even if I don't want to wash the car myself and I'm going to take it to somewhere to be washed, I'd probably procrastinate about that as well, because I really wouldn't be that inspired or motivated to take it, etc, etc. So that's what procrastination is for me. It's when I put off or delay doing things because I just don't feel like doing them. You may procrastinate over tidying the house and things like that, or you may procrastinate over cutting the grass or something like that. The only real thing stopping you back is you're not that motivated or inspired to do it. But for me, hesitation is very different. This is where you're putting off doing something because you are worried about it, you don't feel comfortable about it, or you're not sure about the outcome you'll get, or how the other person might react, or something like that. So I wouldn't say I'd ever procrastinate about making a difficult phone call. I would hesitate about making it. Because if there's a difficult phone call to be made or a difficult action to be taken, there's probably already motivation to do it. You want to do it because you want whatever solution is beyond that action where you're hesitating. But it's hesitation that's stopping you, not procrastination, with the way I look at it. So what do we do? Well, there's a few easy things that I've found have worked massively for me over the years when dealing with hesitation. And I think that one of the things that sort of stuck in my mind as well was that a couple of years ago I saw a film on TV. It was We Bought a Zoo with Matt Damon, and I really believe it was in that film. I must go back and check some stage, but it was definitely something along these lines in that film, I think, where the two brothers were talking and they're saying, what our father once said? Our father once said, for anything that's really important in life, for something that's going to make a difference, you tend to need 20 seconds of courage to take that action, or to raise that question, or to do whatever you need to do. So I thought that was brilliant, because what they're talking about is that 20 seconds of courage to jump through that hesitation gap and to go and do things. And so that was really, really important for me, understanding that. And I realised that I'd been using these very simple techniques for many, many years to actually do just that, to skip that 20 seconds where you need courage to take the action. So here's a few examples. Many, many years ago, when I was in my teens, I'd come across a number of things that I had to do or cope with. It was way back in the days when I used to lack confidence. So it might even be something as simple as going and ask somebody in a store for some help or something like that, or asking someone permission for something, or whatever. But I would, hesitate to do it. And then I would actually get myself to do it, or make myself do it, by just simply saying to myself in my head, it won't be the end of the world. Now, when I sort of said to myself, it won't be the end of the world if I go and ask this person this, or it won't be the end of the world if I go and do this, I'm sort of saying to myself on a subconscious level, it's not a life or death situation, Mark, you will survive it. And that, just simply saying to myself, it won't be the end of the world, was brilliant. And even to this day, on occasion, if there's a difficult call I've got to make and something like that, sometimes I don't need to go to any complicated self-development routes of finding out what's the belief that's holding me back, what must I believe about myself, the world, or people in general in order to hesitate about taking this action. I don't have to go to that. Sometimes I'll just still say to myself, it won't be the end of the world. And I think, okay, great, pick up the phone, start dialing, have that conversation. So that's one technique. Another technique that I've shared previously on the channel. And see, some of these techniques will come back time and time again because they are usable in many situations. This other technique I do is I will actually think about what I'm going to do after that action is taken, the action I'm hesitating or putting off, what's going to happen after it. So I may think about what I'll be doing that evening, you know, maybe sitting down with a family, maybe watching TV, something like that, or maybe going out for a meal, or whatever it is. I will just be thinking about that. And that works for me to motivate me through taking the action, because I think what happens is it says to the mind on a deep subconscious level, you will survive this action. There is life after this action, because I think one of the things happens is when we're hesitating, we're really uncomfortable to do something or say something, and we're holding back, our mind like gets stalled in the moment. And when it's stalled in the moment, it can feel like, to the prehistoric part of the brain, I think, like a life or death situation, that there is no life beyond this point, so we're just stalled and stuck. But once we start imagining and thinking about things we're looking forward to doing after this event is over, after we've taken this action, after we've had this conversation, after we've done this thing we're hesitating about, it says to the mind, you survive it, you get through it, this is a short passage in time, then you're out the other side and life goes on. So that's another great technique, thinking about what I'm going to be doing afterwards. Really, really. Another one, you know, really, really easy, simple. These sound so simple, but often I find that, you know, it's really simple things that we can use to push ourselves forward. And sometimes I'll just say to myself, do you know what, if it's, let's say it's still about making a difficult call or having a difficult conversation, for example, I'll just say, do you know what, I'll get that done and then I'm going to make myself a coffee. I'll get that done, and then I'm going to watch that thing I've been meaning to watch on TV. It's another variation of, it's not the end of the world. It's another variation of, what are we doing afterwards? But it's just a motivating factor. It's just something to give that added bit of motivation, get things in perspective, and get those actions taken that we know are going to move our lives to the next level, whether that's on happiness, career, business, peace of mind, whatever it is. There's things that we know we need to say or do to move things forward, but we hesitate from doing them. So I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please give it the thumbs up, like, and if you're not currently subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below on your device so that you'll get notified when I release a new video. If there's a bell icon on your device, please hit that as well. Then YouTube will definitely notify you every time I release a new video. I release a new video every Sunday to help you to massively improve. So have a great week.